Hello friends, my name is Mohsin Mullah and I welcome you all to this video lecture on Unit 4 of Electrical Installation and Estimation, and in this video lecture we are going to see substation part 2, that is transformers. Now transformers are the main component of any substation. So in the previous video lecture we have seen the substation, various classifications of substations, indoor outdoor substation, and also we have seen that it all depends upon the housing of the transformer, that various classifications have been done. Okay, so that indoor and outdoor substations. So now let us see the main component, that is transformers, what exactly it is and what type of transformers are employed in the substations. So here basically this transformers is not at the construction level or at the working principle level, but rather it is at the application level. So here practically the transformers are used in wide applications, but particularly here when the transformer is used in the application of substations, so what are the classifications there actually we consider, so that we are going to see in this particular video lecture. Okay, so now the transformer basically is an essential part of a voltage conversion substation. The transformer consists of two coils which are insulated with each other and are placed on steel core. Okay, the steel core is made up of laminations, the silicon steel laminations. Basically the steel cores with windings are placed in a container, insulating material. So the total core as well as the windings wound on the core will be placed in the container, and the insulating material, namely transformer oil, is placed in the container, which provides insulation between the winding on the core and the container. This oil also radiates out the heat of the windings. For radiating the heat, tubes are provided along with two sides of the container. So now friends, basically what you need to understand here, we are not discussing about the working principle of the transformer. What we are discussing about, that we already know that coil will be there, windings will be there. So we have the primary winding and secondary winding, both are wound on the core. Now that housing of the core is inside a container. Okay, so in that container, so when the current is flowing in the windings, obviously it is going to produce a lot of heat. So now that heat needs to be continuously dissipated, so the windings and the inside of the transformer should be maintained at as much low temperature as possible for its good health and performance. So therefore in the container there will be usually a insulating oil placed. So that insulating oil will act as an insulator between the winding section of the transformer and the outer container in which it is placed. Okay, so therefore, and also this oil plays another very important role. So this oil will continuously take away heat from the windings. So two purposes it will serve. One is insulation between the winding and the outer container, and second purpose it serves is it takes away the heat from the oil to the external environment through the tubes that we are going to see here. So this is what practical substation transformer looks like, more or less, and this is specially for the foundation type of transformer. Okay, so it is not pole mounted, it is foundation mounted transformer here. So now in this particular transformer we can clearly see that here there is the main container of the transformer. Okay, so this is the main container. So this is a box like a container. Okay, so in which the entire core wound with the winding is placed in this container. So now here oil is filled in the container, so that oil is supplied through this here conservator tank. So basically the container is completely filled with the oil, but apart from that, sometimes what will happen, so during heating process, so when the transformer is put in operation, so oil will get expanded. So due to which what will happen, so this oil will flow in the conservator tank, and when oil reduces, the level reduces in the container, in that case oil will again flow back to the container. Okay, and here beside this container on this side and on this side, okay, so we can see number of tubes, just like they are looking like plates, but basically they are having pipes like structures here in between. So all of these are having, and these are covered with the metallic sheet. Okay, so now particularly these are called as radiators. Why? Because they will take the, so here you can see the main pipe. Okay, so this pipe is directly connected to the inside of the transformer. So here hot oil will usually come towards upper side. Okay, so as it will get heated up, so hot oil will be coming on the upper side, and this oil will start flowing towards this pipe, and here through the pipe it will move inside these plates. Now these plates will tubes, these are rather called as tubes. Okay, so these will provide sufficient area for the cooling of the oil inside. Okay, so here as they are having a particular amount of width and height, so this area is sufficient to cool the amount of oil here. Okay, so now the cooled oil will be again flowed back inside through this particular pipe here from the lower side. So hot oil will come upper side, and when it passes through these tubes here inside this you can say covers, so in that process it gets it radiates the heat and it gets cooled to some low temperature, and it again flows back inside. So this process will continuously take place, and here is a breather. Okay, so for the circulation of the oil we require air circulation also, so for that there is a breather. Okay, and here bushes are given here. Bushes are nothing but again kind of supporting material used between the metallic part and the housing of the insulator, and these insulators are inside it, they are connected to the winding. So 3 phases are there, so each insulator indicates connection for one phase. So here you can also see the color. So this is R phase, okay, and here it is Y phase, and here it is blue B phase. Okay, so now the HT line will be connected here, so that HT line should be again prevented from coming in contact with the body. So therefore these insulators are provided. Again these insulators will depend upon the voltage rating of that particular terminal. If it is 33 kV, at that time this type of insulator is used, but if it is more than 33 kV, at that time different type of long insulators we have already seen different shapes of insulators. So some polymeric type of insulators which are having more length are used here. Okay, and also sometimes we need to empty the oil. Once the oil you can say works for a particular time period, okay, then it needs to be replaced, because new fresh insulated oil needs to be recirculated here, because over a period of time the oil will lose its insulating property, its dielectric strength, so therefore it needs to be replaced. So for that there is a draining pipe provided on this side here. Okay, so these are the you can say main parts of the substation transformer here. More or less in all the transformer we will be usually finding the same type of setup. So in pole mounted transformer, as it is not a big transformer, so small pipes are just coming outside that. Even radiating surface is provided on that, but it is not it will not look like this. Okay, it is not that bulky here in case of pole mounted transformer, but in case of this foundation mounted, it is very big transformer, so lots of heat is produced, hence this cooling setup is also larger. Okay, so now let us see the types of transformers based on the construction. So as we know that based on their construction, the transformers are two types. One is core type, another one is shell type. Now in case of a core type, so the windings are placed on the cores. Now since we are talking about the 3-phase transformer or substation transformer is essentially a 3-phase transformer. So here the 3 windings are placed on the 3 limbs. Okay, so these are the inside of the 3 cores are wound with the primary coils. Okay, so you can see this area, the primary coils here, and the outer coils are the HV coils, okay, or the secondary coils. So basically the primary coils are here LV. Okay, so this will be of LV type, and the outside coils will be usually of HV type. So it is particularly because the on the surface of the core, low insulating material can be very easily wound, on which the low voltage coils are wound. Okay, and later on once circular surface is available, then the insulation for LV and HV is provided here. So here is the insulation. Okay, so here it is not clearly shown, but there will be part of insulation present in this portion here between this coil and this coil here. Okay, so this is the core type of transformer. So explanation is the same here as we already know that. Now next type is shell type of transformer. So now shell type of transformer is a little bit different in construction here. So usually instead of putting the windings on the adjacent limbs, the windings are usually placed on the central limb here, and also the windings will be formed in the form of a disc. So also this type of transformer is called disc wound transformer. Okay, because this shape whatever looks here, it looks like a disc. Okay. So now here again we can see there is a separation with the help of this and this. So outside portion is for HV and the inside portion is for the LV winding. As we require 3 phases, so here we are going to get, say this is for R and this is for Y and this is for B. 3 phases HT will be connected and LT will be obtained from you can say from this particular portion. Okay, so here basically main advantage of using shell type of transformer on core type of transformer is that since the windings are wound on the central limb, they are not wound on the adjacent limb, so the area for the flux is more on the central limb. So as per you can say formula and all, so it is determined that the double flux will be available in the central limb compared to the adjacent limbs. So therefore it is advantageous to place coils on the central limb. And another advantage is that the number of or you can say material required for winding will be lesser in case of shell type of transformers compared with the core type of transformers. So therefore with the same type amount of material, shell type of transformers would be used for higher value of the kVA rating compared with the core type of transformer for the same amount of material used. Okay, but still the design is very complicated, and also the maintenance is very difficult, as it is very difficult to reach to the winding areas, and therefore this type of transformer is very tedious for maintenance purpose. Hence it is not used for high voltage applications, rather it is used for the low voltage applications. In fact, the transformers that we use in our laboratories, okay, so that is in the electronic laboratories, basically for very low voltage like 12 volt, 24 volt and all, so it will be usually shell type of transformer. It is not a core type of transformer, but for power transformer it will be usually a core type of transformer. Okay, so the construction and all, it looks like this. Again, much detail is not required here, we are just talking about the basic two types which can be used in the transformer. Then the main types are depending upon the type of cooling system they employ for the cooling of the transformer. So in that category, the first classification is oil filled self cooled transformer. Okay, so here oil, as I told you earlier, oil is filled in the tank containing the core and the winding. So here you can see the core portion on which winding is placed. So here simple generic diagram is shown, it is not the exact diagram of any transformer here, so you can get the basic idea. And this entire area is filled with the oil. So now this oil needs to be circulated and it should be cooled. So this process happens naturally, because as the oil gets heated up, due to heat it starts expanding or rising up. Once it rises up, it tries to go to the low heated area, so that is this side, and once it goes outside, now this is the outside portion. Okay, so this is the body of the container and this is the outside. Okay, so now when it goes through the outside tubes, so it will get cooled, and again the cool oil will come here, and as it gets heated up, it will continue. So in this way, from this side and from this side, continuously oil circulation will take place due to the natural process of heat convection. So because of that, the transformer cooling will also take place. Okay, so here there is no external setup is used for cooling of the oil here. Okay, so Sometimes fans are also used for additional cooling purpose here if natural air is not sufficient there. So in that case, some fans are placed on this side and this side. Okay, so those fans will continuously blow air on this external pipes which can cool the, but that will become forced type of cooling. It is not natural cooling. And the next type is oil filled water cooling transformer. So here oil will be filled as it is in the tank, and this oil will go to the other cover. So this cover will contain water. Okay, so here water will be placed, and when the oil passes through the tubes within the water, so they are going to get cooled, and this oil will be again pumped back into the tank. Okay, so here oil will stay in the tubes and it will be pumped back later for filling up again in the tank. So in this way continuously again the oil is continuously cooled. So this is a little bit more better way of cooling the oil, because when there is a larger size of the transformer, the temperature of the oil may rise to higher level, so it needs to have a proper cooling setup. So water cooling will be a very good type of cooling system. So here continuously cold water will flow, and that cold water will pour through this tubes, and it will be collected from the lower end. So natural cold water will be continuously coming here, and it will take away all the heat of that oil coming from the tank to that place. Okay, so next and the last type of system for cooling used is air blast type. So here directly it is a dry type of cooling system for the dry type of transformers. Here oil is not used, because directly the windings are we can say exposed to the natural air. And also sometimes you can say such type of very large exhaust fans are used, which will continuously blow air on the windings here. So you can say for 3 phases, so 3 different sections are there, which will be directly taking the air from one side, and they will be blowing air on that, and from other side the exhaust fans are again collecting the air. So from this air is sucked and it is taken inside, from that side it is sucked from inside and it is thrown outside. So in that way, so air will continuously flow from this side to that side through all the 3 windings. Okay, so this is also used for very large size of transformers, as you can say with the you can say with the help of this insulators here, you can imagine the size of this transformer here. So there are very large capacity transformers. So even for these transformers are always will be more than 33 kilo-volt. Okay, so this much for this particular session here. So in the coming session we are going to see advantages and disadvantages of the underground and outdoor and indoor substations, as well as line diagram of the substation. So till then, happy learning. Thank you.